Good evening, everyone. This is a regular meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustment for Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. Notice has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by posting a copy of the notice on the first floor of the municipal building and sending a copy to the Montclair Times, Star Ledger, and Herald News. This is a public hearing in which any members of the public are welcome to attend. The meeting agenda is available on the Montclair website, as is a link to the township's YouTube channel, where the hearing can be viewed live or after the fact. The hearing is also being televised on Channel 34. I will call the roll. Chair Harrison.
Here.
Vice Chair McCullough.
Here.
Mr. Caulfield.
Here.
Mr. Church is excused. Ms. Harris is excused. Mr. Moore is excused. Mr. Simon.
Here.
Mr. Viera is excused. Ms. Grant. Here. Mr. Griffith is excused. Mr. Cruz.
Here.
And Mr. Sullivan.
Here.
All right. And then we have one change to the agenda to announce tonight. Application 2943 for 31 Gray Street with applicants Kristen Hull and Earl Brown has been postponed to October 15th, 2025 without the need for further public notice. Thank you. So if you're here for that application, you can return on the 15th.
We have the minutes of August 20th. I just have one change on page 3, the fourth condition on line 104, add at the end, and shall be done between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Anyone else with any changes to those minutes? If not, does someone want to move the minutes with that change who was at the meeting?
Move approval as amended.
Is there a second? Is there so? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
Then we have the resolution for the Chistopher Court property. I have a change, but it's a big one. The conditions fell off. So after approved on the first now therefore, it should be subject to the following conditions and then put the conditions from the minutes. Anyone else with any changes to that resolution? If not, someone want to move the resolution with a change?
So those are not amendments, are they? Those are just, they just went on.
Yeah, it's the same conditions that have been in the minutes that we did that,
So move approval.
oh, you weren't here.
I move approval.
With the change, with the change, yeah.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain. I think you were there.
Is, first application is a continuation of the public hearing for Keisha Owens for property at 292 Orange Road. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, we just need 1 minute.
Just whenever you're ready, yep, please press the push button on your mics.
While you're getting ready, I'm going to swear Zanab in. Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth in the matters tonight pending before the board?
I do.
State your name and position.
Zanab Gosmi, Assistant Planner. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Would you like to swear us both in first, or?
Are you Mr. Young?
Yes, correct.
Okay, you were sworn in the last time. You're still under oath. You understand that?
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
And that's your client to the right?
Yes.
And you were sworn in also, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yes, you're still under oath also.
Okay.
Okay, you can proceed.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you again for your time. We were previously before this board back in the middle of June for this application, and just before that, we had appeared before the Historic Preservation Commission. We'll give a brief refresher as it's been a few months, but otherwise we're going to focus on the changes made to the drawings since that time. This project consists of alterations to the existing residential property located at 292 Orange Road. 292 is the west side of the road where it splits, right before it splits into Orange Road West, sitting just north of the intersection with Cedar Ave. It's block 2004, lots 26 and 27. Lot 27 was the smaller lot, 5,829 square feet, and contains no physical structures. Lot 26 is the larger, almost L-shaped lot wrapping around Lot 27 at 12,535 square feet. The lot's under common ownership, and as part of our application, we are doing we will proceed with a lot merger for a new combined lot size of 18,364 if this moves forward. The existing dwelling on site, it's a legal, existing, non-conforming two-family structure. The three alterations this application is concerned with is, number one, the rehabilitation and expansion of the existing garage. 2, adding a deck to the south side of the residence. And 3, adding an accessory dwelling unit at the rearmost portion of the site, southwest corner. We require bulk variances for garage setbacks, both the side and the rear yard, plus the garage width. And additionally, we're appearing before the zoning board due to a use variance triggered by the ADU. The ADU is a permitted accessory use in this zone. However, the existing use is non-conforming, being a two-family house in a one-family zone. And the addition of the ADU is an expansion of that use. Following is a brief summary of each site alteration, focusing on the changes we've made since our hearing last June. I'll focus on the garage first. We have not changed the footprint of the garage by any means since last submitted. The current garage bays we felt were not wide enough for modern vehicles. The interior width was approximately 8'10" clear inside, and by increasing the size of the garage to take over the storage area on one side, each bay width increases to approximately 11'5" clear. So we'd be squaring the garage off to allow larger space for 3 vehicles. This squaring off, it will match the outermost 36-foot wide by 19-foot 9-inch deep outer footprint of the existing structure. We're also bumping up the height to 15 feet to provide a storage space in the attic. There'll be separate access to the attic in each bay. The 3 variances we require, first one is side yard. The required side yard setback is 6 feet, and we have an existing 2-foot setback that we're looking to maintain. The required rear yard setback is also 6 feet, and the existing setback is 2.2 feet. And we'd like to reutilize that existing setback as we rebuild and square off the rear of the garage. Additionally, the maximum width of the accessory structure in this zone is 24 feet. The existing structure width here is 36 feet, which we're looking to maintain as we square off the rear of the garage. The only physical change to the garage since we last appeared is adding an aesthetic to the doors. We had previously dressed up the elevations based on comments from the Historic Preservation Commission. However, there was some additional comments from, I believe, one of the board members here looking for the same treatment on the doors, and we've added an architectural element to those doors. Other than that, no changes have been made to the garage. The second item on the application was the deck. There are no bulk variances required for the deck. As we previously testified, the deck sits off the south side of the house, where the large yard area is located. Its overall footprint is 27'5" long by 13 foot deep, and it's going to sit approximately 3 feet above existing grade. The deck access through this side of the house is critical. There currently is none. We are providing direct deck access direct through a new door from the living room, so the existing bay windows shall remain as is. This was a focal point of our meeting before the Historic Preservation Commission. That's why I'm touching upon it again. The one thing we've added to this submission is an elevation of that side of the deck with the house in the rear, just to show the board what the deck will look like, including the pergola and the materials for the screening relative to the existing house. No dimensional changes have taken place. The last item of the application is the most significant. It's the accessory dwelling unit, and that's where we made the most changes to the application. The overall footprint of the accessory dwelling unit remains the same, 30 foot by 26 foot 6. However, the building's been rotated 90 degrees, so the main entrance no longer faces the road, it now faces the driveway. By rotating the accessory dwelling unit, the side yard setback, which was previously 6 feet, which is allowed, we've increased that to 8.11 feet. The rear yard setback will remain at 6 feet. The height of the ADU remains at 15 feet. However, we've now set the finished floor of the ADU at grade. We had previously tried to dig out some of the grade and have a ramp down to allow for more height inside. We've scrapped that. So the existing dwelling unit, the existing floor the proposed floor of the accessory dwelling unit will be at grade. At the same time, we've also eliminated the mezzanine space that we had proposed. Given the grade changes here, that mezzanine is no longer possible. We've also added calculations to the bulk information on the first page, just showing the floor area percentage of the accessory dwelling unit related to the floor area of the main dwelling unit to demonstrate compliance with the ordinance. We also added a schematic section of the ADU at the request of one of the board members. Although the dwelling unit's gotten a lot simpler in essence by aligning the floor with the grade and the removal of the mezzanine, we still wanted to comply with the request and show what this space would look like. So it's a partial section added to that sheet. And just to clarify, there will be a pull-down attic stair in this space just to access storage above part of the ADU. The living space will have a higher ceiling. However, the bedroom and the bathrooms, that's where the lower ceiling will be with storage access. And with the rotation of the unit and the grading changes we've discussed, we also updated the site plan to show the accessible parking space directly adjacent to the entrance to the ADU. The floor plan itself is still very much the same, and it's an open living, dining, and kitchen space with the bedroom and bathroom. And the design, as stated previously, will fully comply with the barrier-free subcode as required by the ordinance. That covers all the changes we made since the last meeting, and we'd be happy to answer any questions the board might have at this time.
The overall square foot of the ADU now is what?
I believe it's 795 square feet.
Questions?
Well, what was the square footage prior to the changes?
We have not changed the square footage of the ADU.
Okay. And you said in terms of the layout of the ADU, it basically is the same as what was proposed before. It's just that it's been turned so that now it's facing the driveway. Is that correct?
Correct. One of the ordinance requirements was that the main entrance of the ADU
Could
shall
not
not
be facing
face
the
the
street.
road. The previous floor plan did show that. So the main entrance now faces the east, the adjacent property, and the existing driveway on this property.
And would the change in direction, in your view, have any negative impact on the neighbors to the west or to the north?
No, we don't believe so in any way whatsoever.
And the parking space for the ADU is now a dedicated parking space for the ADU?
Yes, it is.
Just a question about the garage itself. So, you said that there will be the storage units above each of the bays where cars will be stored.
Correct.
And
Storage
Right,
space.
storage, right. And that's consistent with what you had proposed initially.
Correct. That has not changed.
That's not increased in size or,
No, we have not made any changes to the size of that from what we previously proposed.
and the size of the bays that you're proposing would be consistent with what you consider to be sort of the average size of vehicles today, right? I mean, because part of the argument that you were making in the previously was that those bays were too small for the kind of vehicles that most people utilize today. Is that correct?
Yes, not just the vehicles, but the way people utilize parking spaces, it would be very tight, in our opinion.
So in total now, there are how many parking spaces on the property?
There's no delineated parking spaces right now. I believe our previous testimony, we mentioned there was easily space for 7 cars, and we had shown that graphically. However, the parking itself is not currently striped.
Right.
So the 7 is inclusive of the 3 in the garage.
In the garage. Right, I have no other questions.
Mr. Simon?
Good evening. Just one question. For the side of the garage that only has the 2.5-foot setback clearance, is there any plantings or vegetation along that wall to shield you from the other yard, or is the wall of the garage the only barrier to the next yard? Do you understand?
There are trees. There are currently trees in that location. Yeah.
So for that little section that you're extending, will that still be covered by the trees, or would you need to add in order to block off that new extension?
Yeah, so there, the trees that are currently there, some of them are the trees of heaven, which are, attract the lantern flies.
Yeah.
So I anticipate moving some of those likely, and we did discuss last meeting the possibility of adding additional vegetation there to obstruct the view between the 2 homes. So yes, that's on the table. That's something
Okay.
we're
That was all.
considering.
Thank you.
Mr. Fairfield?
The changes look great. Thank you for doing that. Quick question on is the handicap spot. Do we anticipate someone being handicapped at the time, or is that spot going to be the ADU, you think? Maybe the applicant would know that.
So we don't, not currently.
Okay.
We don't currently have a specific intention for that, but it would be available to any ADU
Gotcha.
occupant, yes.
Gotcha, okay. And there's no concern about the cars that are in the garage being close to the handicap coming out or anything for your estimates at all?
No, there's not. We made sure that there was enough clearance between those.
And there will be a fence where the house is and the handicap spot, is that correct?
Yes, there's an existing fence right now in that
Okay.
portion of the yard that we will have to modify to allow access from this parking space to the ADU.
And there'll be an entrance, right, that can open or whatever, where the person can get in and out through that fence and into the building and everything?
Yes, to be honest, we haven't given enough thought as to whether it's actually going to be a gate or we're just going to remove a part and leave an opening.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
just leave it open, personally.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Ms. Grant?
I wanted to know, I'm not sure if you went over it, but why you removed the mezzanine area? Was it because of a comment about it? I don't remember.
Our interpretation of the ordinance as we saw it in June was incredibly liberal. This revised application, we're following the strictest interpretation of the ordinance in terms of floor area, habitable space in terms of height. It's frankly not feasible.
And I remember the last time you were here, there was no elevation of the deck area, and it looks nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Mr. Cruz?
Yes, thank you. Just two quick questions. One was, so since this is 2 lots, have the lots been formally consolidated yet, or will that be a part of this application?
That would be a condition of the approval. We would have to proceed with the lot merger and complete that lot merger before we pull building permits or do any of the construction, to be able to comply with the zoning as we demonstrate in our bulk table on the first sheet of the drawings.
And then I also had a question regarding the stormwater, and since I can't see what the site looks like, if you could just explain a little bit of the topography in relation to the dry well in the back and the building height?
Yeah, the site's relatively flat. Right now, we are proposing an underground dry well, which will be located between the between the garage and the accessory dwelling unit. We haven't fully sized it yet. However, for a structure of this size, it should not be a problem. We've done them for 2,000 square foot houses with little issue. So that would-
And the location you selected, that's a little bit lower than what your finished floor elevation is going to be in terms of how the property slopes?
minimally lower at best. We have not taken topographic grading shots yet. We will be doing that if we are able to move forward with this, to be able to finalize that location with the township engineer for engineering approval.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
The HPC conditions, let me go over that so we're clear what you've already complied with. Their first condition was the historic bay window should not be converted into a door entrance, and it should not be altered. My understanding of your plans, you have complied with that condition, is that correct?
That is correct.
And 2 is place the door between the 2 bay windows. My understanding is the plans comply with that requirement.
Correct.
And then the 3rd was consider non-vinyl materials for the ADU and garage. Or you complying with that?
Yes, we are complying with that.
And you testified that you added architectural details to the garage doors, is that correct?
Yes, just to the elevation. We've made them more detailed than the simple elevation previously presented to the board.
And the last one, which I'm not sure about, is if, for the deck, prioritize transparency and permeability in the upper portions of the railings to maintain visibility of the historic bay windows.
Yes, if you look at the 2-dimensional deck elevation we've added, you can see that one of the windows has partial obscurity if you're standing in the yard looking directly at it. We had previously shown an exhibit to both historic preservation and this board that the view from the street as it is currently limited by grading and vegetation. The screening below the pergola is relevant to a hot tub the applicant is proposing to put on the deck. So we want to balance privacy for the applicant with the request from the Historic Preservation Commission. And, comply with building code also, because given the 3-foot height differential, we need a railing and guardrails and can't have anything larger than a 4-inch opening.
Okay, and then there were discussion by the applicant about additional landscaping, and I'm trying to understand where that's going given the limited space available and what would be put there.
Sorry, could you clarify the additional landscaping where? if you
Mr.
don't-
Simon asked about landscaping to shield the garage.
So the existing trees line the driveway, and on the other side of the trees going north is the beginning of the yard for the other house. So the additional vegetation would be along the driveway where the existing trees are, filling in the gaps of the trees, which would obstruct any light that might come from cars. And it would extend to to where the garage is, to to block off that area as well.
Have you given any thought as to what that landscaping would be?
So I haven't consulted with a professional about it. There are arborvitaes. I planted 72 arborvitaes around the perimeter of the property. However, the existing trees currently block a significant amount of light, which doesn't allow trees to necessarily reach maximum height, which could be as high as 15, 20 feet. I will need to consult with someone to find out what would be the best option to, present attractive vegetation, but perform the role of blocking out any light or problems between the two properties.
And then I have a note from last time, but I don't remember if we discussed it. What is the lighting for the garage?
We had proposed a decorative wall sconces for them along the front of the garage, which is the portion facing the driveway.
Okay, and then currently cars are parking what I could best describe as perpendicular to the garage facing south, where part of that is now going to be where the handicap space. So you'll have space, 3 spaces for cars in the garage and the handicap space. Will there be additional parking available on the site? And if so, where?
I would expect, yeah.
Give us 1 minute, please. The driveway is rather large and there's adequate
Right,
space.
my real thought is you should shrink the size of the driveway, but I'm not going there. I think there's room for additional cars. It's a little more difficult than it is now because they can't block the car in the handicap space in.
Right, so the maximum amount of cars that we've ever been able to fit in that area, which is to the left of the apron if you enter the driveway, is 4 cars, which is a reasonably tight fit. With the addition of a handicap space, we'd need to remove one of those spaces to provide for a larger accommodation for a handicap space specifically. So that would effectively reduce the number to 3. So now we have 3 spaces on the blacktop and 3 presumably in the garage. In terms of adding additional spaces?
I'm in the opposite direction is where I'm going.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you clarify what you're asking?
You answered my question.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I just want to understand practically what you were doing, given the handicap spaces where there are currently 2 cars parked perpendicular to where that space is.
Right, okay.
Okay. Are there any members of the audience who have questions for either witness?
You have no further testimony, correct?
We have no further testimony yet.
So this is questions and comments?
Yes.
Chairman?
Mr. Rubacki?
Mr. Rebecca, would you raise your right hand and swear to tell the truth in the matter pending before the board? Name and address, please.
Frank Rebacki, 398 Upper Mountain Avenue. Thank you for combining the questions and the comment, because I'll be brief tonight. Really, one line of questioning, which is I want to understand the dimensions of the ADU. The ordinance has a limit that's based on living area. The conversation has been about floor area, which is a different metric. And the reason I'm asking the question is because while the ADU clearly meets the ordinance requirements, you're leaving space off the table. You're about 10% less than what you could build. I calculate you could probably put right now you have about a little over 700 square feet of ADU livable area. And so, you know, I'm not an architect, but that would, you could conceivably add another 3 feet into one of the dimensions, maybe for the living area, for the bathroom, the bedroom. It's substantial if it goes over 26 feet. So my question is, did you intentionally leave that 70, 80, 90 feet of space that you could have added for a reason? Or is it because it was a little confusing how the ordinance was written?
I would.
Or both?
I think it could be a little bit of both. As we've worked on this application throughout 2025, the ordinance has changed a few times, and we've tried to keep abreast of the changes and probably made a few more submissions than we originally intended to the board.
Okay. So I'll just go straight to my comments then. I support this application. I think they've made the changes that were called out in the earlier meeting. I think it's suitable for the property, all the reasons. The only thing I would like for the board to consider is to give the applicant some flexibility if they choose to expand the footprint of the building to maximize the allowable ADU living space of 800 square feet. Because, again, it would fit well within the requirements of the township and the ordinance. And I think because of these changes that we've seen with the ordinance, there's a reasonable justification that people are confused and don't understand it, as evidenced by the presentation tonight using floor area. Thank you.
Are there any other members of the audience who have either questions or comments concerning the application? Okay, is there anything further either of you want to add before we discuss and vote on the application?
No, sir.
No, thank you very much for your time this evening.
Regarding Mr. Rebaki's comment about expanding on the merged lot, would that put them over the impervious coverage? Because it looks at 39.4, the max is 41, if they were to extend it.
We would have to, let's say the board gave us some sort of flexibility, as Mr. Rebecki suggested, we would still, in my opinion, have to stay within the limits of impervious so as not to trigger another variance requirement after the fact.
Okay, just wanted. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's start with Mr. McCullough.
Do we want to alert the applicant as to the fact that we only have 6 members?
Oh, I was going to do that, and then I got sidetracked. You need 5 votes. That means only one of us can vote no. You have an option of proceeding tonight or waiting till we have a meeting with 7 people.
I'm reading your faces to see if,
You have to read, you have to read 5 people's faces.
I'd like to proceed. I'd like to move forward.
Start with Mr. McCullough.
So I'm in support of the application.
Mr. Simon.
I'm in favor.
Mr. Caulfield.
I'm in favor.
Ms. Grant.
Yes.
Mr. Cruz.
I'm in support of the application.
I'm in favor. I think the applicant has given justification for the variance, given the large size of the combined 2 lots, the fact that 2-family has existed on the property, the fact there's adequate parking on the property. I don't think this will result in a substantial detriment to the public good or substantially impair the zone plan. We are trying to encourage ADUs, and this is a property that is well suited to have an ADU on it. Conditions I'd suggest are, 1, that the lots be merged before a construction permit is issued for either the ADU or the deck. I don't really have a problem with the garage if you're proceeding with that, because it's unrelated to the lots merging, and the setback requirements are to the other lot lines. I'm not sure what Mr. Rubacki was doing. I think I propose suggesting, because I think that we should require they adhere, because that's what they're proposing, that they adhere to all requirements of the ADU ordinance, that the garage lighting conform to the ordinance, and that landscaping be placed along the northern property line with evergreen shrubs that are at least 4 feet in height where there are existing gaps in the existing trees that are along that property line. Any further discussion among board members? If not, someone want to move the application with those conditions?
Motion to approve with the conditions stated by the chair.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? You bet right.
You did.
Thank you so very much. I do appreciate this.
The next application is that of Tracy and Matthew Miller for property at 7 Columbus Avenue. This is an application for variance to construct a dormer addition in the roof at the rear of the dwelling to enlarge usable third-floor space. The property is located in the R1 one-family zone district and is designated on the township tax maps as Lot 31 and Block 4407. A variance is requested from Montclair Code Section 347-45A2 to exceed a 2.5-story design due to the width of the dormer exceeding 50% of the width of the dwelling and the resulting headroom on the third floor of 5 feet or less being more than 40 feet of the floor below. Our taxes paid, and it's a notice in order.
Yes, they are.
I'm going to excuse myself on this one. I'm surveying.
Oh, no.
You only need a majority vote.
Oh, for us?
Yes, you just,
Oh, good.
with the current composition, you need 3 votes.
Okay, who's going to testify?
Matthew Miller?
Okay, and,
I'm Deborah David.
okay, so let me swear both of you in. Would you both raise your right hands? Do you swear to tell the truth in the matter pending before the board?
Yes.
State your names and addresses.
Matthew Miller, 7 Columbus Avenue.
I'm Deborah David at 669 Grove Street, Upper Montclair.
And Ms. David, you're a licensed or registered architect in the state of New Jersey, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
And your license is in good standing?
Yes.
Thank you.
Do I need to do anything with this? I don't know. Can I sing?
Is this a picture, or you can use this one here?
Okay. Well, I mean, I didn't know, can I do,
Yes, you can,
There's another one, right?
okay. I'm going to try to do this without my notes. It's pretty straightforward, I think. Do I need to, oh, that is loud. Okay, so what we have is an existing house on Columbus, which is a street that I didn't quite know about until these guys called me up.
Okay, you have to keep facing the microphone, because
Or maybe I need-
vast audience
yeah, if you want
at
to
home
have
will not hear you.
the mobile one.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. We're not doing anything to the front of the building, and it would only be seen from the rear of the building. Right here, I have a zoning site plan. Then letters on the plan correspond to photographs that you have in your packets. And as you see, as stated on this plan, we're not increasing the footprint of the general footprint of the building. The existing third floor attic space is presently being used by them, but there is a great deal of the space that cannot be used because both of the eaves go right down to the floor, like the roof meets the eave, the floor. So what we're planning on doing is only lifting the back of the building up. The front roof will have, there's no change to the front roof except for new asphalt shingles. And the rear would be lifted up to allow for around 6 feet at the back wall. And it would run the whole width of the house. And that's done primarily because it's easier to extend the structure up on the existing exterior walls. This is the rear of the building. We're planning on using the same siding and probably the same color, but they can change the color if they want to. And it would just be open to the north. From the side, this is if you're driving west on Columbus, you might be able to see part of the door, the shed roof. But what we're trying to do to make it look like it's part of it is to retain the eave along the east and west side of the roof, so that it gives you more of a, let's see if I can, it gives you more of a chance to make it look like it's set back from the sides. And the same thing for, this is the driveway side. We also made a decision to just jump off the existing gable roof, which is, I think, 32 feet high, which meets the requirements of zoning. See, that's the shortest presentation ever. These are several houses nearby. The first one, the top left, is catty corner across the street, and you can see the same kind of an addition on that roof. Further down Columbus is another one that's same deal. They just cranked up part of the back of the building. The house directly to the west of this house is 9 Columbus, and you can see what they did. They needed an addition, I guess, and so they built another house on the back of that house. And then across the street, on the south side of the street, a little ways up, they really went to town on the roof situation and really expanded the size of that building. And I think that's pretty much it. We're hoping that you can, this is a modest, to me, this is a modest ask, which will greatly improve the lives or the living conditions in this house, because these houses are not that big.
Mr. McCulloch, do you have any questions?
Just a couple of questions.
Sure.
So, first to Mr. Miller. About how long have you lived in the house?
This is our 8th year.
8th year. So, given sort of the history of what's been given to us in terms of several of the homes where they have done these expansions, what is your experience that would help this board understand why this kind of a renovation is really necessary.
Well, we have a couple challenges with our property. The first is that pool, and
Is the what?
the pool. The pool means we can't really build behind the house too much.
So the pool was pre-existing.
The pool is pre-existing, and to get rid of it's going to be pretty expensive. And unfortunately, I've got kids who still enjoy it 2 weeks out of the year, and so I kind of have to keep it for a while. On the other side of the house, another thing a lot of people have done is they take their three-season room and they build it up. But that is already really close to the property line, and the house slopes down that way. So there really isn't much room to build there, and the other side of the house is the driveway. So to get more space onto this house, I don't have a lot of options. Building the dormer kind of makes sense. We are actually already using that space. That's currently my office and our guest room. But it is, we need to better insulate it, and we really need more space. We really need a second full bathroom. We've got a teenager now. We're going to have a second teenager in a couple of years. Only having one bathroom is already a challenge for us in the mornings, and having a second one, I think, would make sense. And the best way to do that would be to stack up. The only other option that would make sense is to put something in the in the basement, and nobody ever ends up using basement bathrooms.
Thank you.
And the new bathroom is directly above the existing bathroom.
So the third floor that you're proposing, the expansion of the third floor, obviously the roof line is sort of an unusual angle. But take me inside, and will the ceiling, will the living space go all the way up to the rafters, or will there be a flat ceiling inside, or?
Okay, so, let me just point these things out if I can without. This side is the original side, the original slope of the roof. This has been increased so that Matthew can stand there, and also Tracy, they're both tall. And it'll be a sloped roof as well. And I designed it so that we can insulate it to the energy code. And we're going to have to do some specific underlayment to that side of the roof, since it's a 3 and 12. It'll require some, additional, what do you call it, ice protection and all of that. It's still, there's only a small part that it's flat, and that's right here in the middle.
Okay.
That actually is very close to the existing profile. The existing profile is kind of like this, going out to the sides.
And then you made a decision to change one of the windows so that you have, on this drawing that you have there, the window
Right, at
has-
both ends. It's just, they wanted something a little bit more special. And Historic didn't say anything, so.
That's also the side that faces New York City, and we get a view for about a week a year when the leaves
I see.
fall.
Okay, that's helpful. Then I wanted to ask about the, now, I noticed that if you go to the A5,
A5, okay.
Okay, so I noticed that when we're looking at the windows in the new area, that the window all the way to the right, you intentionally wanted to make sure that it was aligned with the window
Mhm.
on the second floor. But then that drew my attention to the 3 windows that you have, and how they align to the window underneath them on the second floor. Can you speak about that?
They don't necessarily align,
Right.
because we wanted to get the 3 windows in, and that it's, the dimensions of the room didn't allow me to line them up completely. Otherwise, you'd have a window in one of the closets, which you could do, but
Well, I mean, even if they lined up with that window on the second floor, then it might make the fact that they don't line up with the double windows on the first floor. So it looks like
no,
it's
it's like the back of the
I bet it's a
building where
challenge.
people are doing, I mean, and also you'll see that any of the new windows are not double hung. Not the windows that we're proposing, but which were in the house before I got there.
Is there central air in this house?
It's ductless.
It's ductless.
And we're doing a ductless system on that floor as well.
Okay.
But hopefully, the insulation will make it not all that necessary.
And you said in terms of the siding, that will be consistent with what currently exists
Correct.
on the house, even though the color might have some variation if they so choose.
You know, I mean, I don't know, did you like the color, right?
We're going to keep the color until we repaint the house.
So you repaint it.
So, yes.
Yes.
And you're changing the shingles on the entire house, is that what?
Yes.
So everything
They're
will match.
already brown, but they just need to be replaced.
Yeah, they're pretty old.
Right, so everything will be, and it will be consistent.
And it's the GAF shingles that are used a lot in Montclair. The ones, they've got kind of, they're supposed to look like wood shingle roofs.
Yes, I know, that's what you.
Yeah, okay.
And then the existing gutter system for the house, you don't need to change any of that in order to accommodate this construction.
Oh, we'll continue it down right in the middle of the back. We have a leader coming down to the lower part of the roof, connected to the existing leader. And that's right in the middle. Look at A5.0, drawing 1. So, yeah, we definitely will have gutters.
Right, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Mr. Simon, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Ms. Grant?
Yes. The window, the east elevation, that's the window, what's the size difference? That's the new window, right?
The new windows in the back, in the side,
The east.
the east window, oh my, that one didn't get changed. It's the bottom part of it's supposed to have the same window because you can see that in the, well, in any case, it's the same window size opening. The double hung part. I don't know where that curved top window went.
And then the windows in the back.
Yes.
I just wanted to know, the thought behind the windows, like the 3 and then the space in the one window. Have you seen any of the sample homes that you were showing, how their windows are under that? Were they similar?
No, I didn't. I decided not to walk in their backyards. You know, people get annoyed.
Yeah, I was just asking, the configuration of the windows, that was just.
Usually in the back of most of the houses, it sort of is more, dealer's choice, can I say. It's usually when you have it at the back of the house, they don't necessarily line up with each other. And actually, you can see on these, look at the side of those houses, the east and west side. They're, you know, the windows are, there's different sizes, there's different locations. So, but you're right, I didn't go in the backyards. It's like,
Just wondering, you know, as time passes and these homes have the same operation, just wondering the consistency. These are all, we're all alternate color windows, but just given the, as time passes, the, I guess how the neighborhood is developing, the homes are developing, and differences between, even just the windows in the home.
and the back, you can't see you can't see it from the back, just the back neighbors will notice it. So
Columbus is a very interesting street in that all of the houses on Columbus, at least on the Montclair side, started with the exact same floor plan. And over the past 100 years, they've all evolved differently according to taste. You probably wouldn't notice a lot of consistency as you go down the street. The street across the house, for example, is this beautiful blue house with a concrete exterior. It looks nothing like everything else, exact same floor plan. So the reason we have the 3 windows there is mainly because that's going to be where our bedroom is, and that way my wife can look out at her gardens, which are wonderful.
I wasn't suggesting that everything should be the same, just.
no, that's okay. It's a good question.
As you develop the neighborhood, just wanted to give a bit of thank you.
I have no questions.
I just want to follow up briefly on what Ms. Grant questioned, the change in the third floor window on the east side. Why, you have a dimension from the floor to the bottom of the new window. I'm trying to get a sense of the height of the window.
On the east and west side?
On the east side.
That was the one.
Was that?
Yeah. The east side, that's the one with the 3-season room on it.
No, but it's the east and west, they're 2 feet, they're at least 2 feet above the floor, so that we don't have to.
I'm more interested in the difference in the top of the window.
The top of the window's the same size as it was. Without the double hung part.
Right, but then you have the arched part above that.
You know, I think I didn't put it in, but we would like it, right?
We couldn't hear what you were saying.
I think that I mistakenly left it out of the plan.
But your one drawing shows it.
Yes.
The,
Yeah, no, not this one. One of the first ones.
Oh, goodness
you're
sakes.
on.
There you go.
There,
A5.
right. And we had, there it is.
Right, I'm trying to understand that, how much higher is that than the existing window? And,
Okay, this is the existing window size, and this is 1, 2, like 16 inches taller,
okay, so.
without the trim.
Okay, so the bottom part of the window, the double hung part of the window, that's just staying the same, and you're just adding the
A
curved
little,
piece above
a
that.
little, we're zhuzhing up a little bit.
Okay, any other questions from members of the board? Are there any members of the audience who either have questions or testimony about the application? Okay, anything further either of you want to say before we discuss and vote on the application? Okay, we'll start with Mr. Simon.
I'm in favor.
Ms. Grant. Mr. Cruz.
I'm also in favor.
Mr. McCullough.
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor. I think, I think the key thing here, one, there's considerable depth between the addition in the rear and the property to the rear, that this is not going to impact that. I think by just putting it over the existing two-story portion of the house, that is, the house to the west is higher and still going to be taller than this because of the slope. And my concern would have been, because on the other hand, the house to the east is much lower, but since this is a considerable distance from that house because of the one-story portion of your house, I'm not concerned of this having a substantial detriment to the public good. And I think, as the pictures are shown in my observations, this is in keeping with what else exists, so this is not going to be a substantial impairment to the zone plan. So I'd be in favor of the application as presented, unless anyone has any conditions. Someone want to move approval?
Move to approve the application?
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Thank you very
opposed? Any
much.
abstentions?
I kind of like this. I'm going to take it home with
You
me.
can't take it home.
Just don't drop it, they're expensive.
No, I'll be back, don't worry, I'll use it next time. Thank you, Wait till the next one.
The next application is that of Maddie and Alex Ciliotta-Young for property at 9 Cloverhill Place. This is an application to construct an addition to the rear of the dwelling. The dwelling currently has a side yard setback of 3 feet where 6 feet is required, and the proposed addition would continue the existing setback. Property is located in the R2 two-family zone district and is designated in the township tax maps as Lot 5 and Block 4208. A variance is requested from Montclair Code 347-51 to permit a side yard setback of 3 feet where 6 feet is required. Are taxes paid, and is the notice in order?
Yes, they are.
And who is going to testify on behalf of this application? Both of you, right? Would you both raise your right hands? Do you swear to tell the truth in the matter pending before the board?
Yes.
Yes.
Give us your names and addresses, please.
Courtney Rombo, 141 Central Ave, Montclair, and I'm a registered architect in the state of New Jersey.
Your license is in good standing?
Yes.
Madeline Ciliotta-Young at 9 Cloverhill Place, Montclair, 07042.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm
proceed.
going to, can I start?
You can proceed.
I'm going to start with an overview PowerPoint presentation. I think you each have packets of the overview, and then I'll go to
Okay,
the
we're going to
big
mark that
plans.
as Exhibit A1.
Okay, the first page here, I'm showing an overview of the house. This is the front of the house. It's a typical traditional Montclair house built in 1906. See on the site plan over to the left here, over to the right. Yep. This is the full site plan. You'll see that there's the 6-foot setback on the north side and the 10-foot setback on the south side. And the whole entire house is in the 6-foot setback. It ranges between 3 feet and 3.5 feet. On the other side is the driveway. That goes back to a concrete patio that used to be a garage, but it was demoed and just a concrete patio is there now. This is showing the back of the house where there's a small addition and a deck. This next page shows the small addition and the deck are going to be demolished, and a new addition is going to be built, slightly larger. The new addition is going to align with the existing house, so it's not going to go any further, and a smaller deck will be built. So here's a zoomed-in version of the site plan with the color-coded house. So the yellow is the existing house, and this is the little small addition that's going to be demolished. This is the proposed addition in red, and this is the new deck in orange. So you'll see the proposed addition is partially in the setback. They have a hardship because even though it's a nice big house, it's a very odd, small shaped kitchen. Both Maddie and Alex grew up in Montclair, so their family's still here. They have 3 kids, and their brother still lives here with their family, and they gather a lot, and it's very hard for them to gather in this small, awkward kitchen. Since the existing kitchen is already in the setback, we figured it wasn't a big deal to extend it and make the kitchen bigger. This is showing the proposed kitchen. So this is where the house ends now, and you'll see we made it a nice rectangle shape. Here's a rendering of the new kitchen. You can see it's a much nicer space to hang out in. And here's a rendering of the back. Here's some pictures I pulled from the planning report. This is showing the aerial from above. This is showing what you would see from the street, which you would barely see anything from the street. And this is from the backyard, showing the corner that we would take as part of the addition. Maddie and Alex get along really well with these neighbors, so they're not concerned about bothering these neighbors at all, and the addition's going to be past their house anyway. That can, oh, let me go to the, so for the large plans, we have the full site plan here, the same images I showed you on the last plan, and then some elevations showing the existing back of the house and the new back of the house right next to each other, so you can see what it's like now and what we're proposing. And then same thing from the side of the house, the north side. This is what's there now, and this is the addition we're proposing from the side. That concludes my presentation.
Mr. McCullough, do you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you. So the impetus for this project is because of the kitchen.
Yeah,
Really,
that's
that's
correct.
what this is all about, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Right. And so as a result, I mean, you have this area that is currently existing that you want to demolish in favor of the new construction. And presumably the kitchen is off of what is the existing area that you're going to demolish, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll go to that page again. So this is where the kitchen currently is.
Okay.
And that's that small little existing addition and the deck. And the kitchen's staying in that same location, but
Same location.
becoming a better shape. So this is that weird little bump out there.
Mhm.
And if you can see this picture standing here, looking out in that direction, and they have a powder room bumping into the kitchen, that's here. And then
I'm sorry,
past,
is where? Okay, I see that.
it's
yes.
here. And then look past here is just a kind of unused, awkwardly shaped table area with no good connection to the backyard. And then they have this little kitchen island in the middle, but they only have less than 3 feet around this kitchen island, so it's not even regulation kitchen standards, and nobody can sit at that island, so
Right.
it's painful for their family to gather in that area. And then the new kitchen is, this wall's coming straight out, and it's coming out 13 feet from, 13.6. And so it's a better kitchen with a big island. Lots of people can sit around and gather and have a good connection to their backyard over the sink and through the triple pane glass door.
So the new kitchen will open into other living space in the house. Is that correct? I mean, you have to eliminate a wall in order to be able to, the old kitchen wall you're eliminating in order to.
Oh, I see what you're asking.
Yes.
We are relocating this powder room, so that powder room's getting out of there, and then we're bumping out a little bit.
Okay.
So this powder room is here. So
What's
we're
here?
relocating that powder room to be down here
Okay.
with a walk-in pantry next to it, and then we're bumping out there. So it's a better shape and then also a little bigger.
So, sorry, jump in. So the powder room is going into the existing house, not in the extension anymore?
Right, correct.
And what is to the right of the powder room? What is that space?
A walk-in pantry.
A walk-in pantry, okay. And you, okay, so, I mean, the red lines suggest that it's a wall there, but it's not actually a wall. You can go in there, right?
Yeah, that's correct. If you can
Okay.
see this,
Oh, no, the walk-in pantry is to the left, right? I mean, from my view,
yeah, it's,
right?
this
So I
is,
was-
yeah, go ahead.
So I was asking, like, what's to the right?
Oh, it's a hallway.
It's a hallway,
Yeah.
okay. And that hallway leads to,
The front foyer.
okay.
Let me go to the plan so you can see. So this is that, can you see, actually, let me
Yes.
use this laser pointer. So that's the hallway we're talking about, and it's going to the front foyer there.
Okay. So it does move and flow into larger living space?
Yep,
Exactly, okay.
that flows into the foyer, and then it flows into the dining room here from there.
So now you have this new addition that you're proposing, and there's a small deck off of the addition, right?
Yeah, smaller than the current deck.
Right. Do you foresee that being sufficient
The size of
for
the
the
deck?
future? Sure.
It's a good question.
I mean, is there a reason, for example, why you did not consider extending the deck? And now I'm looking, let's see. So as I'm facing out from the kitchen to the deck, okay? You have a lot of space to the right.
Yeah, I think we were trying to stay within the setback for the deck.
Uh-huh.
I guess there's kind of no reason for that if we're asking for it anyway. But also, we're trying to not go over that disrupting 250 square feet, so we need to hire the civil engineer and go through zoning. We're trying to stay under that.
Okay. The reason,
But-
what's behind my question is I could anticipate that, maybe these good folks may be very happy with, satisfied with that size deck, but then somebody who goes in after them may decide that they want a bigger deck. And so the question would be, could that actually be facilitated here? And you're saying that if you tried to put a larger deck in there, you would run into variance issues.
Not a variance, just having to go to the town engineer and then hire a civil engineer to do extra drawings. And it's not a huge deal. Like, if you guys want a bigger deck, we could look at it, but
Okay.
could.
And
Do you
then
wanna-
in terms of the addition itself, does that go down into the basement?
No, it's a crawl space.
It's just a crawl space underneath that building itself?
Correct.
Okay. So what kind of heating system are you anticipating putting into this?
It's kind of usually up to the contractor in the end, I find, but usually we end up doing electric baseboard heaters in kitchens.
Okay. And there's no problem with water?
No, it'll go through the crawl space to the basement.
Okay. Now, there's also this, from the picture that I saw, a lovely tree that's back there, and that tree will not be impacted by this.
We're going to try to keep it.
Mhm.
Oh, that's probably why we kept
That's
the
why
deck.
we want the deck
That's-
smaller.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
the
that the
rationale.
Japanese maple can stay. I
Okay.
think if we move the deck over more towards the neighbor,
Uh-huh.
then we would have to cut down that tree.
Then you'd have to cut it down.
Yeah.
I see. And actually, the other side of the deck, the other side is closer to the driveway, is that correct?
Correct. The other side, yeah.
That's what I'm now seeing that in the picture. And those on the, presumably those are basement windows on the lower level?
You're talking about here?
Yeah, yes, I think that's.
Yeah, those are existing basement windows.
Yes, so it's a finished basement?
It is.
Okay.
Well,
No.
it's partial.
It's not.
It's actually,
It's waterproofed.
it's a really nice basement.
It's a nice.
It's waterproofed in the kitchen.
It's a future project, yeah.
Really nice unfinished basement.
Okay, all right.
The best I've seen in Montclair.
All right. What is the lighting plan? I mean, I can see that in terms of the construction itself, that it doesn't appear as though it would have any impact on the neighbors. But what about lighting from this? Would there be any problem with lighting coming from this new addition that would have a negative, potentially have a negative impact? Has that been considered? Lighting inside as well as on the deck itself?
I think it would be much different than what's there now. Let's go to. So there's only one extra window facing the neighbor, and everything else is facing the backyard.
Mhm.
There's no skylights. For exterior lighting, we'll probably do waterproof sconces on either side of the big glass door.
Mhm.
So I don't anticipate we'll do any big floodlights or anything in the back.
Okay. And then finally, it appears as though the window, there's a window that's in the kitchen that is going to be relocated, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
This one is getting demolished and relocate, well, it's going to be a new window because they're going to be symmetrical on either side of the range. Go back to
I
the
see,
plan.
so, okay, I understand.
So here's the range here, and then we'll have symmetrical windows on either side of the range.
Okay. And so what will be done to close the hole that when you're relocating the window? Tell
Yeah,
us about.
that's a good question. We'll match the adjacent siding. We'll fill it in.
And the shingles and the new addition will match the rest of the house?
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. Simon?
I was going to ask about the porch as well, possibly wrapping it around, but I see, is that an AC unit that's next to the porch?
Yeah, there's a condenser unit.
All right, so I figured that's why you couldn't do that. And you said the house was built in 1906, so I assume that was before all the setback rules and everything, which is why it was built in there.
Yeah, and it's a pretty neat neighborhood, really close to Bloomfield Ave. It feels very urban but suburban at the same time.
Yep.
It's cool.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Caulfield?
Did you guys put the deck in?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Thanks for saving the tree.
Anything for a Japanese maple.
Yeah. You know, I think like the, I was scaling the house. The house is only 35-foot width, and the house itself is. Like, I think what you probably would see here is the driveway would be 10 feet. You take the 2 extra feet because it's 12 and put it on the other side, and then there'd be like a 5 or 6 on that side. But it seems like when they laid this out over time, it just, they laid it out not the way it's supposed to be in that sense, in my understanding of it. So then you're forced to build kind of close to the property line on the left-hand side, and that's what we're here today for that. You know, that's, you know, that's why. But I like the plans and everything. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Ms. Grant?
Yes, I see that you're changing the door, the front door.
That is TBD. We're not sure we're going to do that yet. Do you have any thoughts on it?
I wanted to know what the new door would look like. And you're removing the second door, so it would be open. The vestibule is going to be a mudroom and open. So both of those, the double door front will be going in the next door. And
Yeah. I think we've not totally confirmed that part. We're waiting to get through this part to confirm that part, but can't remember what we said
I'm
about that.
attached to the original doors to the house.
They're the original from 1900s. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like they're original.
But then the inner door, the beveled door is not.
Mhm.
It's some, I don't know what type of material it is. That's not original to the house.
Oh, I see what you're saying here.
So if we keep the outer door, it's like those two little, it's like the two little thin doors that open up together, you know?
Are you talking about the main door or
Yeah,
the
main
door?
door to the outside.
The double door.
Yeah.
But it says here, I'm just going off of what it says here that's getting demolished. So that's why I was asking if you knew what you would replace it, because the doors are really old. So I was just curious.
Yeah,
And
we
they're
were
like-
exploring some ideas for that, but nothing's confirmed for that part yet.
Okay.
But it sounds like she wants to keep the doors,
That-
so.
That's my only question. Thank you.
Mr. Cruz?
I have no questions.
I have a couple of more curiosity questions and comment. I'm fascinated by your neighbor's driveway and why it is adjacent to your house and they leave a little gap, landscaped area to their house. How that ever came to be is,
Yeah, their driveway goes right up to our house.
it's
I
a...
don't know why. That was there when we moved in. I don't know why.
They
No,
have a giant
I
porch on
suspect
that.
it's been there for a very long time, and
There's a giant
they-
porch on the house.
they decided better to use your property than their. I mean, they clearly, to fit, it would have to go onto your, but they have, a foot, 2 feet
Yeah.
of landscaping next to their house, and they,
Yes.
so I'm just wondering, people who lived in your house back then, what they thought, or if they were
Yeah.
related.
I don't-
And they
yeah, I
said,
don't know.
sure, fine with me.
Yeah, I have no idea the story.
Yeah, the locating the stairs to the deck to the rear, from a zoning perspective, is this, so I assume when people come home, they park in the driveway and they come in the back, is that correct?
Not right now.
You go around to the front door? Is the plan, with the addition, will you come in the back then, or?
Yeah, like right now, yeah, we have to like walk through 2 doors, and then there's nowhere to put your stuff when you come in. So we can't, it doesn't make sense to drag 3 kids through the back door. So right now, we come through the front door.
Okay, and is that going to change, or?
It might,
I think we were planning on it not changing, and that's why we were exploring putting mudroom at the front of the house.
Okay, so the deck stairs going to the rear doesn't matter, because you're not going to use those for?
Yeah, we did explore some options with having stairs coming off this way too. In the end, we ended up taking that off and just having one set of stairs out to the backyard.
Okay, any other questions from members of the board?
Just
Mr.
one,
Caulfield?
is the chimney being expanded? Is that on the drawings? No?
No.
Okay. I guess because when you had the drawings, the chimney was bigger. I just wanted to... It's like one of those things that you have to see what's different from similar photographs.
This,
I think it's on your first page of that. Yeah. Like the middle, like one chimney's larger than the other. Just wanted to...
are you talking about this
It doesn't
part?
really matter. What?
Are you talking?
Yeah, I'm talking about that drawing,
It's
yeah.
like a flat top.
Okay. All right,
Of
just
the house.
one was larger, and I'll show you later on.
Okay.
Okay, are there any members of the audience who have questions, statements, testimony, anything you want to say, who maybe are hiding behind the chairs or something? Okay. Anything further either of you want to add before we discuss and vote on the application?
No, thank you for your time.
Start with Mr. Caulfield.
I'm in favor of this. As I stated before, I think how everything's been pushed together, we're forced to go onto this side. We usually don't like to keep things that close to other sides of the property, but just the way this happened, you're expanding and all that stuff, I'm not going to be the type of person that stops you. So good luck.
Thank you.
Ms. Grant? Okay.
Because the plan showed that the vestibule is being demolished, is that if it's approved, this will be approved as well?
If we approve the plans as shown, that's what they get to do.
Because she said that they weren't sure.
Do you not want us to demolish the vestibule?
I just wanted to be clear what I'm voting.
The vestibule is within the house, so it has nothing to do with zoning. But I'm definitely interested in hearing your thoughts on the vestibule, if you want to talk about it.
Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, I'm in favor.
Mr. Cruz?
I'm in favor of the application.
Mr. McCullough?
Yeah, I'm also in favor of the application. It's a nice streetscape, and it's unfortunate that the neighborhood is so crowded that you can't fully appreciate this property, but I'm in favor.
Okay, Mr. Simon?
I'm in favor.
I'm also in favor. I think, the houses were clearly built to maximize use of the property, leave enough room barely for a driveway, and, I think given that they're keeping the line of the existing house and the size of the house compared to the addition, I don't have a problem granting the side yard variance for the kitchen addition. They're keeping the deck further away for both good reasons and helping zoning to preserve the tree as well as the zoning. So this is not going to result in a substantial detriment to the public good or a substantial impairment to the zone plan, and I don't think we need to impose any conditions, but if anyone else has thoughts as to conditions, and if not, someone want to move approval of the application?
Move approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Go enjoy your bigger kitchen.
Thank you.
Okay. Need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?